state. The human beings are DNA or sicknesses. Why does a little kid die of cancer? That's not God's will. That's a result of sin that has entered the world. This world is in a fallen state. It's not the pristine state that God intended it to be. Someday in the future will be reinstated. So when you see confusion and disease and a person that's born with both male and female, it's sad, it's unfortunate, and there's a little bit of truth to that. They are born that way. And then another thing is this: men are born. We have hormones too. And we're all grown here, but if a man, don't think a man ever looks at another woman, he does, because we're not gay. But you know what? We're also not dogs. Dogs have instinct. They go whatever. So we have convictions, we have values, we have morals. We have a sense of right and wrong. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say, just as every man can notice another woman, we don't have to live by our hormones or by our feelings, by our flesh, because we have to make decisions, right?
Yeah.
So
by what's right and wrong.
A person might have a tendency to be gay. I might have a tendency to be a jerk.
That doesn't mean that it's right. It doesn't mean just because you're born in a sinful nature.
Have a propensity to be that way.
Right.
Doesn't mean they have to fall into it.
Right.
I feel for them because they're struggling with things. Alcoholics struggle with alcoholism. Drug addicts struggle with drugs. We all struggle with something, right? Because none of us are perfect. So, and we're not justifying it. We're not saying. I'm saying it is wrong, but
it's just part of the world.
It's part of the world.
It's part of the world.
Yeah. There's people that struggle with homosexuality.
People struggle with food. People struggle. There's so many, but that doesn't mean you give in to that temptation. That's your temptation. That's what you're going to struggle with.
The Holy Spirit. God says, "Greater, is He than."
But what's the good news?
The good news is that we're not slave to our sin. When you become a Christian and when you're born of the Holy Spirit, the same power that rose Jesus from the dead when he rose from the dead on resurrection, that same power is indwelt in you. And that power is stronger than sin is. It's strong enough to overcome sin. So when you walk in the Holy Spirit, you can defeat it. And God says that's why we're not a slave to sin. That homosexual that struggles with homosexuality, he's a slave to that sin. He doesn't have the power to overcome it. That alcoholic has the same thing. He has an addiction. People have addiction to drugs. A lot of things are people have addictions.
Or you even see it in the kids that they lie, they throw fit.
Yeah. Why do you never have to teach a kid how to be bad? They do it all. You never teach them how to be bad.
It just comes. It's nature.
Yeah, it just comes natural.
But they grow up and learn how.
So do you agree with that, Johnny? We're in a fallen world, right?
Completely.
Yeah.
So you're saying they're sinning?
They are sinning, yes. But just because they have a tendency for that doesn't justify it.
They're sinning, but they can change.
They're falling into their
With the Holy
temptation.
Spirit.
Through God, they can overcome it. They can overcome it.
Well,
And
if they choose not to, then they don't.
So as Christians, it's not for us to make fun of them and to hate them and throw them off roofs.
No.
We have to love them as we love any other sinner. Because until they
We love any other sinner. We all have our own sin.
It's not our place to. It's God's place to.
It's God's place.
My fault.